something like that. And it's a big book, an experience of being beaten by it. But if you ask people around here, including the PS, he has been beaten many times by them, but he thinks it's not a story. So every story matters, ladies and gentlemen. That was everybody can write a book on anything. And now, let's keep writing. We also write to set records straight. In the current world that we live in, like in the past we used to have things like people didn't understand something well, they make the story distorted. Today, because of the internet, someone doesn't like you, he also distorts it. But be able to write a book, set the record straight of the things you've seen in this world, and it will live longer, people will enjoy. Finally, Latif, because I'm not a storyteller, but I'm a writer, let us write books because we inform people, we educate people, and we empower people. Books live longer, books make people know more things. Books are just like a game changer in life. And I want to encourage you that always be reading. When somebody writes something, a lot has gone through. If I tell you the journey that Dr. Juma Mukhwana went through this book, it's a lot. He sat, and I sat with him for very many hours in Makutano village in Bungoma. And we walked with him. We went to Mount Elgon. We walked with him. At some point, we sat a lot in Nairobi. And he sent me to his mother's place, somewhere on the border of Bungoma and Mumias down there, where the mother came from. And they seem to be Wangas, but they are Bukusus as well. We dug deep and got so many stories about them. And then we came in, now editing, correcting the language, removing Latif's strong words, and putting in the simple words that we want every reader to understand. And so the best way we can honor him is let's read. Let's have our reading culture strong and we read. Finally, a book completes a story. We all know about our Prime Cabinet Secretary because we've met him the other day. We all know about our Speaker. We've seen him the other day. Do you know what happened to him when he was 2 years old? Do you know what happened to him when he was 4 years old? Do we know the story of what happened to someone when he was in primary school? Many of us know Dr. Mukhwana as a good man. We know how he is. But in this book, he's telling you how he was a very stubborn boy when he was 7 years old and didn't know how to cook ugali until something happened to him from his father. And so it completes the story. Now you can know him better. Thank you, Latif. Let me stop there.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Masinda. Very well told. Very well narrated. It gives you the essence of why you need to read the book, and after reading the book and as you read the book, why you need to think about telling your own story, because our own stories matter, right? So we've been told in the summary by Kwendo about this Mzee who was called Mzee Opicho. Mzee Opicho had how many wives, Kwendo? And how many children? Okay. One of them was John Mukhwana. Thomas Mukhwana had how many wives? And how many children? And all were in one village. You don't call that a village, but that's a county. Hey. So the village initially was called Lurende. And Lurende was, on this side, which had the Opichos. And on the other side, which had the Wetangulas, it was called Mukhwana village. And you'll see the foreword written by the Speaker of the National Assembly, Right Honorable Moses Wetangula. But let's hear from one of these 30 children of Thomas. One of them is here. He is Engineer John Situma. He will come and tell us the things that PS did not want us to know. The things that Juma does not tell us. We are getting the leakage here. So to complete the book and the story, we are going to hear that time when you were 7 years old, the things that he has not told us. Please tell us.
Thank you, MC. All protocol observed. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, I'm Engineer John Situma, as it has been said. And I'm one of the 30 plus children of Mzee Tom Mukhwana. By the time Daktari was born, I was over 8 years, so I'm older than him, and I know a lot about him. I know most of you have gotten to know him when he's a PS, Principal Secretary or maybe commissioner for higher education or whatever. But I knew him from day one. So I want to reveal some of the secrets that he has not. Yeah, Daktari has been a very aggressive young man. In our family, I was actually the first person to go to university. And I thought I was the cream of the family. In my CPE, 1973, I scored 28 points and joined Kibabi High School. I had actually been selected to St. Peter's Mumias because our dad was the bursar in Kibabi High School. So usually you would want to run away from him, isn't it? You don't join a school where your dad is a bursar. But then he turned things around, and I ended up joining Kibabi High School and studied under him for 4 years. So during those 4 years, of course, he would give you like 2 shillings. And he says, when you run short of the money, just come, I will give you more. But then you would never dare do that. Now, when Daktari did his CPE, he scored 33 points, and I was surprised. Because in our family, I had been the highest. When he scored 33 points, he was supposed to go to Mangu High School. But Mzee said, just come to Kibabi when you... So he joined Kibabi High School, where I had been. By that time, I think I had joined university. I joined university in 1984. I was behind the speaker by 2 years. And I think the Right Honorable Prime Secretary was my year mate in the university in 1984. So Daktari comes and, of course, I studied engineering. Daktari comes and joins university to study vet. I was kind of feeling like he was the only one in the family who was undoing the big achievements that I was making, step by step. I have worked as a small PS, what we call chief officers in the counties. And I thought I had really achieved. Now this one is the big PS. So he has undone that, isn't it? So all I'm saying is, Daktari is an aggressive gentleman, very aggressive really, because I've not written any book myself. He has written a book. So if it's a question of competing, unafika mahali unasema, si ndio? The point I want to drive home is that Daktari is a very aggressive person. He has a passion to support people. And I think that where he is not the maximum that he should hit. Daktari, if you have written 1 book, I think your children should write 2 or 3. I've not written 1, but I'm really proud of your achievements. So we hope that God opens up ways for you and you achieve even more. As others have said, I don't want to take too long because of time. I will tell you welcome. And you are even welcome home. When you come home, I'm sure now you know about what exists there. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Engineer. As I'm thinking about this story, I'm really feeling sorry for someone like Polly, who is Dr. Mukhwana's daughter. How many uncles do you have? Okay, how many cousins do you have? How many grandparents do you have? Aye. Because Juma himself can't even... do you know all your uncles and aunties by name? It's a passion for change. And because we've talked, I've had the occasion of actually having very many conversations with Dr. Juma Mukhwana. The passion comes out. And it's a passion to do good. It's a passion to serve. It's a passion to have impact in the society. And that's what you find in this book. One of the things we're going to hear now is now from one of those very many, uncles, who is like father. Mzee Patrick Opicho Wekesa is going to come here and speak on behalf of the late Mzee Tom, speaking kama baba. A round of applause please for him. Utuambie vile alichapwa na mzee.
Okay. Wakeni wetu wa heshima, wakeni wote mlioalikwa hapa, may I say welcome all of you here. Now, because of time, let me be brief. Huyo Mzee Opicho baba yangu alikuwa na wake watano, vile mnavyoelezwa na wapendwa wenzetu. Na Mukhwana naye alikuwa vile vile na wake watano. Opicho alikuwa na familia ya watu 40. Mukhwana vile mmesikia alikuwa na watu 30, wake watano. Hata nami nilieta watu wake watano, lakini wengine 3 wakanitoroka. Unajua hiyo story vile inaenda. Naam, wacha mimi niongee juu ya huyu kijana wangu PS Dr. Juma Mukhwana. Juma huyu Mukhwana mimi namjua, namuelewa kama mtoto wangu. Sababu mimi ni kwa familia ya Opicho, mimi ni namba 14 kwa wafulana. Na wote walikuwa 40. Sasa mimi naelewa huyu PS Dr. Juma Mukhwana. Huyu kijana Dr. Juma Mukhwana alikuwa msumbufu. Kweli alikuwa msumbufu. Si alikuwa anachokora, lakini alikuwa anasumbua. Lakini nimeona kwamba kumbe mtoto akiwa msumbufu iko kitu ndani yake. Huyu mtoto wakati alitoka shule akaelekea paka akamaliza university, kufika nyumbani hakusileki. Alianza tu, sababu alisomea udaktari, alianza tu kutipu ng'ombe reserve na kutembea tu na mikwate. Ukimpata unaona huyu sasa ni mtu wa degree na anatembea tu reserve na anatipu ng'ombe. Alikuwa anafanya hiyo kazi. Baadaye tunasikia kwamba amefuka kuku. Sasa hata sisi wakati tulipoanza kufuka kuku ya kisungu hiyo tulipata kwake. Akaendelea hivyo, tulisikia amewachana na hiyo kazi, amerudi sasa kwa shule tena. Baada ya hapo tunasikia ameleta Sacred Africa Bungoma. Sio hiyo ubonga alipata wapi? Kidogo tunasikia ati ameenda South Africa, akaja na Kofi Annan. Tukasema huyu kijana ni barubaru kweli. Hata juzi tuliposikia mtoto wetu amechakuliwa kuwa PS, tukasema heko Mungu wetu. Sasa Daktari Juma Mukhwana anaona mbele. Hata mambo ya GMO ilipokuja hapa Kenya, sisi ndio tulitangulia kujua kutoka kwa huyo Dr. Juma Mukhwana. Akatupeleka Kiboswa tukasoma. Tulikuja hii mambo ilikuwa bunge walikuwa wanadiscuss, lakini sisi tulikuwa tayari tumejua kupitia kwa Dr. Mukhwana. Huyu mtoto wangu mimi naambia mama, mtoto yangu mkwe, shikilia huyu bwana yako. Na wachukuu wangu, kaa karibu na baba yenu, mtapata kitu ndani yake. Mimi nilivyo hivi, mimi ni chairman wa ukoo. Dr. Mukhwana ndiye alinichagua mimi kuwa chairman wa ukoo. Tangu 2002 mpaka sasa. I'm the national chairman as well as international chairman. Mimi si mtu mdogo. Sasa nakushukuru bwana daktari jinsi uliandika hii kitabu. Na msuri muende msome hii kitabu, iko maneno ndani yake. Yale ambayo wenzangu wameongea hapa yote iko ndani ya hii kitabu. Nunua hii kitabu, muende mkae chini msome. Hata mimi bwana daktari, ni baba yako, niko na 73 years. Lakini nitajaribu kwa sababu ya wewe mpaka nitaandika kitabu. Mimi. Sasa mimi nika hapa nimeshuhudia ya kwamba hiyo kitabu imeandikwa ukweli. Na niko hapa kwa niaba ya watu wa Bungoma, kwa niaba ya uko yangu kama chairman. Asanteni Bwana Master of Ceremony. Kwa majina naitwa Patrick Wekesa Opicho. Opicho my father.
Very well said. Another round of applause, please. Let's appreciate him. Let's acknowledge him. And you know, ukisikia mzee akizungumza, anasema ukweli. Kijana ameenda amefanya degree, anakuja hapa kupatia ng'ombe mbegu. Hiyo ni degree gani? Wazazi wakashindwa. I want to acknowledge the presence of the Principal Secretary for ICT, Engineer John Tanui is also here with us. Asante sana and karibu. Now, we have heard about those early days, about the village, the big county, the one family, and all those people. But then, the man left the village, started working, and decided he wants to continue eating the book. So he ate book, he interacted with people. And we want to hear some of those people now speaking to us quickly, as then we have to conclude our program. The first one I want to call is Dr. Alice Kande. Dr. Kande is the CEO of the Kenya National Qualifications Authority. And you know what they do? So that if ever Dr. Mukhwana, PhD, is asked questions about his academic qualifications, she's here. She attended the launch of his book. So she can confirm that his PhD is recognized. A round of applause, please, for Dr. Khan.
Absolutely, Latif. Thank you so very much. The chief guest and all dignitaries present, all protocols observed, good evening. My name is Alice Kande, CEO, Kenya National Qualifications Authority. Allow me to proudly say that Dr. Juma Mukhwana is my immediate former boss. And so the story that I am reading is so relatable. If we were coming here to validate, we have already validated that story. And so we are glad that that is an institution that he actually began from scratch, still standing tall because of the seed that he sowed very patiently. And I am glad that this is part of the inspiring story that we are reading today. I am so thrilled, very thrilled to extend my heartfelt congratulations to you, Daktari, on the launch of your book. It is a remarkable milestone which reflects your dedication and real passion for change. A 288 pages book telling your life story is no mean feat, but we know that you're capable of doing this. Thank you, Daktari, for giving this to us to read. It's really amazing how you have wrapped your past, your present, and your foreseeable future all together to give us such a beautiful and an inspiring read. Effortlessly balancing of family, career, business, politics, and everything in between is truly amazing. Your ability to inspire and lead by example has always motivated those that have been lucky to interact with you. And I said this on behalf of my colleagues who didn't manage to join us today at KNQA, that institution that you brought again from scratch, and many others that you have deliberately inspired. I sincerely thank you for laying a very strong foundation to many of us. And thank you for reminding us that humble beginnings, challenges, and successes are all part of life's rich tapestry. But in between, you do remind us that there has to be determination, self-belief, and resilience. I have no doubt that your book will resonate with every reader who will come across it and make a meaningful impact. Bona PS, I wish you and your family God's blessings and tremendous success as your book reaches its audience. May it open doors to many and inspire everyone who comes across it. Thank you so very much for inspiring us, Daktari.
Thank you very much. Now, tomorrow is what day? Jamhuri Day, sindio? Now, we have national celebrations, and therefore we have dignitaries who will be arriving, and our Prime CS has a long night because he's got to prepare us for tomorrow. So we have got to cut short our program so that we can allow him to leave. And therefore, I'd like just to acknowledge the presence of the people who are going to invite next as speakers, probably at dinner. We shall hear from them. Professor Daniel Mugendi, the Vice Chancellor, Embu University, please allow a round of applause for him. Professor David Some, former Vice Chancellor at Moi University and Chairman of Rift Valley Technical Training Institute. Asante sana for being here. These gentlemen that I've just mentioned have been mentioned in the book. Read it, like Wendo said. Buy the book, read it. I know you've bought the book, so read the book. You'll hear the story. Ladies and gentlemen, I now want us to be prepared to put our hands together so that we can welcome the man who has decided to tell us his story at his very young age, but it's already a very rich story. And then he shall welcome other guests who are here and go ahead to welcome our chief guest for tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together, please. Put your hands together. Put your hands. Don't clap. Put your hands together. Okay. Now start clapping softly. Louder, 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 louder for Dr. Juma Mukhwana.
Thank you, Eric. Thank you so much. I know how much pressed we are for time, but let me invite my family to come forward so that we just know this very, very quickly, as you can clap for them as they come. So thank you, karibu, karibu. Give us the mobile one.
You want another stage? We can extend the stage.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Very, very quickly, Lucia is my wife. Please give her a clap. And we have been married for, she looks very young, been married for 32 years. And Ian Wafula is our firstborn. He's an ICT software engineer. He just arrived from South Africa. He actually came for this, so thank you for coming. Tony Wekesa is our second-born. He's a political scientist. So maybe atafuata speaker. Then we have Pauline Naliaka. She's a psychologist. And then we have Mercy. Mercy is a business development manager. Give her a clap. And our last born, Alex, is away. He's in Canada. I really thank you for standing with me, for making me who I am. Thank you so much. Asante. I know that I also have a large number, another family from the State Department for Industry and the Ministry of Investments, Trade and Industry. Maybe the people who work there just stand up if you came from the MITI. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And then I had a committee from MITI that put all this together, led by Ann Nyaga and Ann Wamae. Please, thank you very much. I have my colleague, PSS. I can't thank you enough, Engineer Tanui, the PS for ICT. Just stand up so that they can see you. Please give him a clap. I have PS James Muhati from Planning. I have PS Mwadime from Labor. I have PS Abakar from Investment. And my own brother from Bungoma, PS Edward Kisiangani. In Kibukusu, we call him Etwati. So, so we don't have a D. So thank you so much. I will, thank you so much. And the rest of the team will be introduced. I want to say that early in my life, as you've heard, I chose to be a veterinarian, and there were reasons for that, because we had a very, very ambitious father who had decided to buy great cows, Frisians and Ashers from Britain. They were literally imported, literally flown in. But from the look of things, we were not ready. My mother did not even understand how to take care of them. And as we have already heard, one by one, they started dying. And these were very high-yielding cows, giving a lot of milk. So at that time, when my mother, every time they died, she was crying. I told her, Mommy, when I grow up, I'll become a veterinarian so that I treat these cows. But by the time I became a veterinarian, we did not have the cows. The only thing we had was the loan which my father had taken, about 10,000 shillings then, had multiplied to 300,000. So he had a different problem. He wanted me to help him to pay the loan. So that's where the problem is. As you have already heard, my lineage consists of people that are quite brave, completely outgoing, ambitious. Opicho was a small man with a difficult personality. My father was very, very principled. And he had his own standard of hygiene. If you wanted him to come to your house to eat or even partake of a drink, he measured whether you were hygienic enough. And if he thought that your home was not as clean as he wanted, he simply rebuked you and he did not come. This included his sisters. So he would say, if you are not going to make a very clean environment, he will not come. So I would say that my grandfather, my father they went ahead of the community. They actually lived ahead of their time. My grandfather lived ahead. My father was even farther ahead. And they were also quite uncompromising. So when they believed in something, they believed in it. Oftentimes, our neighbors wondered what kind of people. I remember, and Papa is here, my father had paddocked his land and put a gate. So you had to come through the gate. So one of his brothers found going around the whole place to be a bit too much. So he decided to pass through the fence because the gate was a little far. So when he arrived and my father was standing in the compound and he said, "How are you?" He said, "No. You go back the way you came. You use the right gate, then I will greet you." This is his brother. That is how difficult it is. So I would say that if I was to summarize these two people, they were quite innovative. They were quite risk-taking. They did not mind what other people thought about them. They had the nerve to do new things. So I would say that this spirit that we have, I really was a difficult spirit, but we are who we are because of the things that these people made us. So in summary, so that the rest of the story is in the book, so I will not go into that. You are here today because you have been part of my journey. I know that many may not be here today, but you have made me a better person. So all of you who are here, you are my friends. You have impacted me in many ways. You have believed in me. Professor David Some, I think, is here. I worked with Professor Some in 3 different institutions: at the Manor House Agricultural Center, at the Commission for University Education, where I was his deputy, and then also at Moore University. So please give him a clap. And with that, we stood out. Professor Daniel Mugendi, we worked together in soil science. In 2011, when he founded the University of Embu, I became part of his staff. I am still a staff member, senior lecturer at the University of Embu, on leave of absence since 2013. Please, Professor, stand up. Thank you for trusting me, and I really, really appreciate it. Thank you so much, Professor. I knew that you would speak today. His Excellency, the President, is not here, but this afternoon I visited him to give him a copy of the book. I had the rarest opportunity of being a ear-mate with His Excellency. We have come a long way. I really want to thank him for trusting me with this opportunity. My family, you have stood with me. I have been quite restless, and we have stood together, and I really want to thank you once again. Thank you so, so much. Mheshimiwa Wetangula, his father was actually my principal, my headmaster in primary school. That's how close we come from each other. He from Mukhwana village, I come from Luanda village, and Muse Dominic, his father, was my headmaster. So it's a family that we have known each other. Thank you for inspiring me. You have been my role model. Mheshimiwa Musalia Mudavadi, you are here because we've been friends for a long time. You may not remember this. In 2007, when I ran for election on ODM, I came to your house in Mululu, and you took me from your sitting room. We actually went to the bedroom, and we sat on your bed, and that is where you gave me advice on very important things. So I am who I am because of the input that you have given me. I am humbled. I know how busy you are, but you have managed to come here today. Please give the Prime Cabinet Secretary a clap. So all in all, I really want to thank you. This story is your story. I know that some people said, maybe it is too early, and I said, it's never too early. Because if a story has impact, then it will make a lot of sense. So thank you so much for coming. Thank you for believing in us. Thank you for being our friends. Thank you for standing with us. At this juncture, I want to invite my senior sister, Dr. Deborah Mlongo, who will invite my current mentor, His Excellency Salim Vuria, who will very quickly invite the speaker, and then our chief guest. Dr. Mlongo is our CS for health. Give her a clap.
Honorable Prime Cabinet Secretary, Honorable Speaker, Cabinet Secretary Salim, PSs, all protocols observed. Good evening. Yes, mine is very brief. I'm really excited about the book by my brother, My Passion for Change, and we look to read through it. Indeed, he has lived a great journey, and we congratulate you for the wonderful book and for the things that you'll be able to share with us. So with those few remarks, and because of time, I'll go ahead and invite CS Salim Vuria to give his remarks. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, the Prime CS, Honorable Wetangula, my colleague, PSs here present, and of course, Dr. Mukhwana. Because of time, I just want to do some PowerPoint. Number one is to congratulate Dr. Mukhwana for telling his story in a manner that provides lessons for all of us. Number two is also to thank him because I was the first person to receive this book when it was in draft form, and therefore I have had time to interact with it. And one of the things I want to say is that it really compresses a very rich experience, but also provides an opportunity for you to learn the multiple positionality that Dr. Mukhwana has had, and also drawing lessons from his humility, his patience, and also his brilliance and aggression. And because I work with him, he has also now decided to call me a mentor, which we normally do quite a number of things together. So I want to encourage all of us to read this book. When this story is being told and you read it, you get a lot of lessons that can really provide you with a lot of comfort and also a lot of foresight. So I want to thank you for making us part of this process. And I now want to invite my friend who has read many books, the Right Honorable Moses Masika Wetangula. Karibu sana.
Thank you, Salim. You are very right. I have read very many books in many languages. Prime Cabinet Secretary, our chief guest, Dr. Mukhwana and your family, 2 cabinet secretaries, PSS, invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, of course my village mates from Lurende, the village across a small stream, Mukhwana this side, Lurende across. We grew up together with Dr. Mukhwana's family. He's considerably younger than I am. When he was a student in Kibabi, I was a teacher in Kibabi. I didn't teach his class, but he was my student, and many others. I was a very close friend of his father. And his sons can tell you, at my very early age, I was privileged to walk to a bar with his father and my father every so often to enjoy a drink. And what I keep remembering is these wazes joking with each other. My father telling his father, you didn't have to marry 5 wives to have 30 children. I married 2, but I have 30 children. That was always a joke around them. Then they will laugh and laugh and laugh and say, bring us another drink. So that is how far we come from. We are a close family friends. Dr. Mukhwana also has been very close to my political circles. We've worked together. We continue working together. And as Chinua Achebe said, if you don't like anybody's story, write your own. And you have written your own. And we salute you for this. There are people who are very good at critiquing other people's stories, but they can't write their own. You have written your story. Everybody will read it. Everybody will understand you. And every bit that is in that book, because you gave me an advance copy, I read it. And, you know, it is a summary of our village, how we live. When you are at our home and you shout, they will hear at their home, and vice versa. So, Mzee Opicho, Oriomuno Pap, for coming to grace this occasion. Engineer, Oriomuno Ndug, and everybody else. We are from a village where people work very hard, and people are very principled. As I finish, you get somebody in our village, he looks visibly hungry. He looks visibly dispossessed of any wealth. He has patched his trousers to the extent that you can't tell the original fabric. But when you play with him, he will tell you, what do I lack? Do I eat in your house? I have my wife and children. Those are our people. And we are very proud of that level of pride of our community. Wycliffe, come and launch the book.
Thank you, Speaker Moses. That is what happens when you come across somebody who has read very many books. Please be seated. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and also our, host plus chief guest, Professor Juma Mukhwana and his esteemed family, and my colleagues in public space. I'll be very brief because we are receiving a guest, the President of the Gambia, who is the chief guest at the Jamhuri Day celebrations tomorrow. And I've been assigned the responsibility of receiving him at about 8:30. So you will bear with me. And Moses Wetangula Masika
has been in that space, so he understands what I mean. So you'll bear with me if I shorten my remarks. In fact, I had a written speech which I shall pass over to Juma Mukhwana. But the starting point is this. Congratulations, Professor Mukhwana, for putting your story in this book, My Passion for Change. There is the famous author whom I like quoting, Shakespeare. Shakespeare, I think in Macbeth, Macbeth was asking one of the people there who was supposed to say something, and the person was not speaking. And he said, "Speak. Who has stolen thy tongue? Who has stolen your tongue? Which cat has stolen your tongue?" Now, here we are. We need to ask ourselves, if you don't put your story in writing, who has stolen your pen? Who has stolen your paper? Or in modern times, who has stolen your tablet, your computer? And I'm saying so because there's a dangerous man in this room called Kwenda Opanga, who told many stories. He told us very many stories. He told us stories about the politics of this land. He told us stories about our hits and our misses. And I was telling him earlier this morning that you must gauge the mood in which Opanga is. If he's in a bad mood, don't give him a pen, don't give him a paper. If he's in a good mood, make sure it's there so that he can write and tell his story. So, Juma has told us his story. Let's read it. Let's read it. And let others speak. If you can't write, then at least don't tell us a cat stole your tongue. Speak to this. But why am I here? I'm here because Juma is a man who has shown resilience, determination, a man who applies his intellect to issues. He's a solid thinker. And by the way, he's also very humorous. You get him in a good moment, you will laugh. You will enjoy. He's not selfish. When we were campaigning as Kenya Kwanza, to be honest, he helped in fueling our cars. That's the truth. This good man here. And he's a very constructive member of our society, Kenya Kwanza government. I'm sure he works very well with my colleague, the Minister Mvurya here. And he was able, ladies and gentlemen, he was able to bring the late Kofi Annan to his home. To his home. I and Moses, we spent time, 42 days at Sina, with Kofi Annan, talking peace. But Juma took Kofi Annan to his home. Not because of anything else, but because of excellent display of intellect, of service, initiatives that the people of Northeastern in particular had benefited from as a veterinarian, and what he was able to gather, what he had, his knowledge, is what pulled Kofi Annan to his village. My friend, it's not easy. Congratulations. The rest, as I said, if I borrow from Opanga, is in the book. Musome tu. Soma, and then there'll be a sequel, I hope. There'll be a moment when you will now write the sequel to this very, very nice book, so that we can also now learn from your experience, from where you have been going forward. May God's blessings fall upon you and your family and your relatives and all your friends, so that we can continue benefiting from your knowledge and your wisdom. Tunasema asante sana. I think I've said enough. Mr. Speaker, my time has run out. Now I formally declare the book officially launched. Thank you.
Your Excellency, we are going to do a proper launch where you have to press a button. And so as they move it, I'd like to welcome, please, the Speaker of the National Assembly, the Cabinet Secretaries, Dr. Juma Mukhwana to come. And then the copies of the book will come. As we unveil the book, we're going to do a countdown. We have the drum is ready by the Spellcast band. We have our... And we want to just put the... So we're going to do a countdown, all of us together. Are you ready? Are you all ready? Are you ready? So Your Excellency, when we get to 0, very good. One more if you... Let's all count. Let's start. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2,